Howdy everyone, Tex-Mex here. Thanks for joining me for another video. Today we're going to be looking at some 22 long rifle shot shells. I've spoken in some last videos about shot shells, and in the North American Arms one, I fired these 22 Magnum shot shells. I have used these 22 Magnum shot shells to great effect out of both that North American Arms mini revolver and a single 6 when I've been out hunting to dispatch snakes. For the larger rattlers, these CCIs that are made for 38 Special 357 Magnums, if you put these in a snub nose at a few feet, they are certainly very effective at even larger rattlesnakes. But today we're going to be focusing on these 22 long rifle. I had this one box of CCI I'd gotten recently, and I found this box of Federal at the local store. So I figured I'd buy them and compare them. Now, ideally, these would be shot out of a smoothbore rifle. I don't own a smoothbore rifle. There are some on the market today. I know there's a single shot Savage that you can find out there right now, and the Henry Arms lever action. They've been made by other companies as well. I know Remington and some others had them out there, but as far as new, those are the only two I could find. And if you really want tighter patterns with these shot shells, a smoothbore rifle is the way to go, but it's a very limited rifle. You really can't fire, well, you can fire regular rounds out of it, but they're going to be terribly inaccurate and lose a lot of velocity very quickly. And they are meant for these shot shells. But in 22 long rifle, from everything I've reviewed and seen, even out of the smoothbore, you're kind of limiting yourself to about 20 feet. You're not going to be firing, well, maybe a little longer, but not much. If you try to fire these out of rifled barrels, because the rifling will start to spin the shot a little bit, it tends to open up and you'll get more of a donut pattern than a tighter little shotgun pattern that you would like. And that's why those smoothbores exist. And I'm sure there's smoothbore pistols as well, but I don't own any of those either. And these 22 long rifles, in the past when I've used them out of basically small pistols like these. I have a Ruger Bearcat here with the 4-inch barrel and the SP-101 and 22 long rifle. And that's what we're going to use, because I think a lot of people that buy these shot shells probably use them out of pistols as well. And we're going to see how well they pattern at, maybe 5 to 10 feet, since that's realistically how you would be using this out of a pistol if you were just trying to dispatch some rats or some other small critters without causing surrounding damage, which is what these were used for a lot. A lot of people use these shot shells out of smoothbores to kill rats in barns and things of that sort, because the shot shells it's such small shot and it doesn't have too much velocity, so you're not going to be creating holes in your barn or things of that sort. The CCI, let's see here, it's 1/15 of an ounce of number 12 shot, 31 grains total, saying that it's coming out at 1,000 feet per second. And as far as the Federal, it's claiming to be, let's see here, 25 grains of number 12 lead bird shot. And this one says small game, and it even has a little picture there of a tiny little squirrel. I think if I tried to shoot a squirrel with these, at least one of my local squirrels would end up throwing some acorns at me. So I'm not going to necessarily use it for hunting. I have at times used them to shoot yellow jackets and wasps and things of that sort, just for fun. But really, it's going to be for small pest control, maybe small snakes and mice, things of that sort that you may be getting rid of around your barn or garden. So let's head out to the range, see how these guys pattern. We'll shoot them out of one of these pistols. I'm not sure which. Maybe we'll do both. And see if there is a preference between the CCI and the Federal. Now, the big difference, and I can point these out now, is that this is a crimped top, so they put the shot inside of the casing and crimp the top, so that it'll open up inside and the casing will come out. So the CCI, on the other hand, have the little plastic blue casing. You can see here, let me see if I can get one of these out without dropping the ball. And it actually has a little piece of plastic that has the shot contained inside of there. I would expect that would suffer from being spun more than the crimped case, but I have no idea. So that's why we're doing this experiment, to see what kind of results we get with a pistol with either a crimped casing or the shot shells. The only issues I could think of is that potentially the crimped casing, when it expands inside the cylinder, might get stuck a little bit. We may have to push harder with the ejector rod. But other than that, I don't think it should cause any problem. It's just going to see how these guys pattern at a few feet. So let's head out to the range and have us a little bit of fun. We're out here at the range at about 10 feet from our target. We're going to start with the CCI 22 long rifle shot shells. I'll shoot these at the bottom target. I'm going to put 2 rounds on the target. Well, as you can see, not a bad grouping. I mean, for 10 feet, I measured it out. It was actually a little more than 10 feet. And I would use this primarily a snake shot. It opens up quite a bit. I'm sure the rifling has something to do with that. But, you know, on the center area, there are plenty of pellets there that would certainly help you with a snake or some critter. So let's try the Federal next. And again, just over 10 feet. This time we're going to do the Federal 22 small game shot shells. Well, let's check our target here. As you can see, I mean, we got a lot of them on target, but that being said, they spread out a lot more than the CCI did. I figured the CCI, due to the little blue plastic cap it has holding the pellets, that they would probably start to spin more in the rifling. But, you know, your results may vary, as it is with 22s. If you can get your hands on both, I would certainly try shooting them through your pistol or rifle and see which one it prefers. Or just go ahead and get yourself a smoothbore rifle. Then I'm sure they'll pattern great. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, well, you know what? I'm going to take a couple more shots at half the distance and see how that works. Well, this time we'll start with the Federal first. I will say that ejecting the casings from my Ruger Bearcat was simple. They didn't get stuck in the cylinder or anything. I'm at about half the distance, not quite. I do want to say with CCI or any other shot shell, especially 22 long rifle, if you're ever going to shoot at something hard, a hard surface, certainly be careful. The pellets will bounce back at you if you're not careful. Although this distance here, I think is safe enough. I'm shooting basically into the dirt ground, and this is a legitimate distance I might shoot a critter at. So we'll do the Federal at the top target. Okay, not bad. Actually, I'm sort of impressed with that grouping. And we got quite a few there in the center circle, so that was a small bird or squirrel or you know, relatively small snake. I wouldn't use this on a large snake. It would just make it mad. It would be effective. So now let's try the CCI. And now the CCI at the bottom target. Okay, also pretty good. You see here, a lot in the center circle, center circle, and quite a few covering the red center dot. Although I will say the Federal seemed to get more on the dot. But either way, this seems to be an effective distance out of a 4-inch pistol, well, at least for this Ruger Bearcat that's got a 4-inch barrel. And certainly good enough to take care of some pesky rodents that might be bothering you in the barn or on the way as you're hiking or maybe getting into your hunting blind. To test the effectiveness of these shot shells, I'm going to use one of the CCIs and fire it at this apple that's a little past its prime. I'm going to aim for the sticker on there, and we'll see what kind of damage it does. Well, here's our apple. It looks like it got quite a few marks on it, so a lot of those pellets penetrated. I'm going to let it get a little bit brown. I'm hoping that'll make it easier to see where all the entrance holes are, and then we'll cut a slice or two and see how deep they went. Well, as you can see, now that it's gotten a little brown, you can see all those puncture holes. There was quite a few pellets that got into that apple, quite a few. And a few that came here, or that entered on the side, exited right here on the back. So let's cut into it and see how deep those pellets went. Almost to the core here. Oh yeah, I mean, look, those pellets went all the way in. I mean, you're halfway through the apple here to the core. Quite a few. So even that 22 long rifle, those shot shells, let's cut past the core. See how many go through. Hey, still some even went past the core and a little further back. So not bad, actually more impressive than I thought. We got a lot more penetration than I thought we would with the long rifle. So certainly something capable of taking care of a small varmint, or like I said, small snake. Thanks a lot, guys. This was a fun video. I've been shooting shot shells since I was quite a young kid, which is how I know that they can bounce back and hit you. So once again, be careful if you use these. Everyone stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.